name is Beverly Oviedo, and I am going to be talking to you about John chapter 10 and just giving you a little bit of what I have been learning and studying it out. I want to first quickly say I've enjoyed listening to the other commentary every morning, getting a new explanation or study on the chapters we're reading the night before, and it's been really enjoyable. Miss everybody and miss seeing people, and I can't wait for life to resume as normal, and I'm sure everyone feels that way. Chapter 10 is actually a good chapter even for this time, because it's just talking about the Good Shepherd, and it's really helpful for me because I've always kind of struggled with understanding God's love and understanding why He would love me, and so this really helps me to understand that, just in understanding the relationship between shepherd and sheep. Help me understand the love Jesus has for me and models the relationship that I need to have with Him. Starting out, just few definitions. Definition of shepherd is to tend, to guide or direct in a particular direction. It has the same root word, which is debar, as pasture and word. So shepherd links us back to John 1:1 when he says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." That's pretty cool. That's showing that shepherd, God, pastures, they all have the same root word and are linked together. One of the things that I got out of reading John chapter 10 is Jesus saying, "I am the gate," and he says that let me just read 1, 2, and 3. "Very truly I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out." So this, in understanding the gate, it would help to understand the sheep's pen and how that worked back in Jesus's day. It was usually made of an enclosure of rock, and the opening, they just had a small opening for the door. So at night, the shepherd would lay down in front of the opening of the door so that no one could pass through. The sheep couldn't pass out, and people could not pass through, or they would have a gatekeeper there lying across. In the morning, it wasn't uncommon for there to be multiple or several flocks sheltered together in the same fold. In the morning, the shepherds would come, they would call their sheep and assemble their flock, each sheep recognizing his own master's voice. The true shepherd comes in through the door and would be recognized. The thieves and robbers could never enter through the door, so they have to climb over the wall and enter the fold through deception. But even if they did get in, they would never get the sheep to follow them, for the sheep only follow the voice of their own shepherd. So this kind of helps you understand how the pen works, or how the gate works. So whenever he says the one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep, it helps you see that bigger picture. He also talks about the thieves not being able to get in, because if one were to walk up, the shepherd or the gatekeeper would recognize his face and know that he wasn't a part. And also because the sheep only come to the sound of their shepherd, even if they got in, they wouldn't be able to take the sheep anywhere. So it helps you to see that relationship that the shepherds have with their sheep. They didn't raise their sheep for slaughter, so there was no just hurry up, fatten them up, and get rid of them. The only time they slaughtered them was for sacrifice. So they raised these sheep, and they used their sheepskin. They sold their sheepskin, and they sold their milk. So there was a relationship with these animals. The shepherds knew them. They knew their colors. They had names for them. That there was a true, deep relationship with each one of them. They were protectors. It says in verse 11 through 15, "I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay my life down for the sheep. This contrast, he's contrasting himself to the hired help here, because the hired help is only doing what it's paid to do. The sheep are not his, but the good shepherd watches over them, stays and cares for them, protects them, because he purchased this sheep by dying on the cross. He died for the sheep. That relationship, that love, that's deep. It's willing to die for, not run away because he has no vested interest. It's a deep love and relationship. These are the things I think about whenever I look at this. The love he had, willing to die for me, willing to protect me, willing to go after me if I leave, if I stray off. And I just love that. I love that the way they wander off, Jesus will chase us down. He will look for us the way a good shepherd should be looking for his flock. And that's what he's trying to say to these Pharisees. You're not shepherding your flocks, but I am a good shepherd. I will take care. I will die on the cross for. This is the model that they should have been following, but instead they were trying to kill him. They weren't trying to hear any of that, but his love for us was that deep. It was that type of relationship. So whenever I read this, I think, is he my shepherd? Do I follow his voice? Sheep would literally follow their shepherd's voice. They would follow that voice off a cliff. They wouldn't stop and look over the edge and think, oh man, that's kind of deep. That's kind of far down. I don't know about that. They would go. So it may not be all that smart, but then again, neither am I many times. So, but I love that they have that kind of relationship with their shepherd, following that voice, latching onto that voice. And so I'd like to challenge you as you read through this, and hopefully I've explained some things that'll help you see it clearer, and just think about, do you follow, is Jesus your shepherd? Do you follow his voice? Do you, is that where you first go? Is that what you're hearing when you get up in the morning? Is that the voice that you're listening to as you go throughout the day? That is what this challenged me to think about, and that is my challenge to you. I hope you have a great day. Thanks.